What shall tackle my cat?
Your ranch is illegal.
This land has been in my family for generations.
Lock him out. He doesn't belong here. The angry voices rang across the neighborhood as the HOA fenced off the only road to the black man's ranch. They smirked, thinking they had won. But weeks later, they were stunned because the man they tried to cage ended up buying the land. And with it, the only gate key. The ranch stretched wide under the open sky, acres of rolling hills dotted with oak trees and grazing horses. For generations, the land had been the pride of families who worked it, lived on it, and built their lives from soil and sweat. But when the black rancher Elijah moved in, trouble followed quickly. At first, it was whispers, neighbors clutching their pearls as he rode his horse past their manicured lawns. Then came the letters thinly veiled rules from the homeowners association. Your fencing is not up to code. Your horses are too noisy. Your land does not match. Community standards. Elijah ignored the whispers and the warnings. He worked the land with dignity, rising before dawn, his hands worn from rope and wood, his spirit unbroken. But the HOA wasn't finished. They gathered one evening in their polished clubhouse, plotting their next move. If we can't make him leave, one sneered, we'll make him suffer. Their plan? Build a fence. Within weeks, construction crews hammered tall steel posts and heavy wooden planks into the ground, cutting off the only road that led to Elijah's ranch. A gleaming gate stood in the middle, secure with a lock. When Elijah rode up one morning, reins in hand, he stopped short. The road to his own ranch blocked. The HOA president stood smugly on the other side. You'll need permission to pass through here now. Rules are rules. The crowd behind him laughed. Some filmed on their phones. Elijah sat tall in his saddle, his face unreadable. He didn't shout. He didn't argue. He simply turned his horse and rode away. The HOA cheered, thinking they had broken him, but Elijah was silent for now. Days turned into weeks. The HOA grew bolder, bragging at meetings about how they had locked him out. But what they didn't know was that Elijah had been visiting the county records office, studying maps, deeds, and ownership papers late into the night. And then, one quiet afternoon, he made his move. A for sale sign appeared on the small plot of land right where the gate stood. It belonged to an elderly couple ready to downsize, tired of the HOA's bickering. Elijah didn't hesitate. He signed the papers, wrote the check, and walked away with a deed in his hand. But he didn't stop there. He changed the locks. The next morning, the HOA members arrived for their meeting. They reached the gate, as usual, but their keys didn't fit. Confused, they jiggled the lock, muttering angrily. That's when Elijah appeared. He walked calmly to the gate, a new key dangling from his hand. He slid it in, turned it, and swung the gate open. Morning, he said with a smile, tipping his hat. Need help getting through? The HOA president's face turned crimson. What have you done? Elijah held up the deed. I own this land now. This gate, this road, belongs to me. The crowd behind the president gasped. Some whispered, others chuckled. You tried to lock me out of my own ranch. Elijah continued, his voice steady. But now, you can't even get into your own neighborhood without my key. The silence was deafening. One woman faintly muttered, he owns the gate. From that day on, the HOA had no choice but to approach him with respect. Cars lined up at the gate each morning, waiting for Elijah to unlock it. The same neighbors who had mocked him now waved politely, some too embarrassed to meet his eye. He never gloated. He never rubbed it in. But he never forgot. And every time he turned that key, it was a reminder. Dignity cannot be fenced out. And true power doesn't come from rules written on paper, but from patience, persistence, and the courage to stand tall. In the end, the HOA learned a lesson they would never forget. They tried to shut a man out and instead gave him the very key to their world. This story reminds us, arrogance may build walls, but wisdom builds doors. And sometimes, the very thing meant to trap you becomes the stage for your greatest victory. What do you think? Did Elijah do the right thing? Share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for more emotional, powerful stories that prove respect and justice will always prevail.